Oh, good. Yeah, sure.
The one yesterday that when you were explaining the why. About going being a showing Shabbat.
Yes.
To keep Shabbat. Why is not
not allowed?
Not allowed. It's not allowed or not recommended. That was my.
Not allowed.
Not allowed because
not allowed.
They would create another.
It's another religion.
Can you explain a little bit?
Right. So now, if you have 613 mitzvot in Judaism from the Torah, seven laws from the rabbis, right? So 620 total laws. But each one of those laws breaks down into many other laws. There's halachot and so on. But the point is that Judaism is defined by those. This is how someone that wants to be Jewish has to comply with all of those laws that apply to him. If he's a Kohen, there's certain laws that apply to him. If he's not a Kohen, there's certain laws that don't apply to him. If it's a woman, there's certain laws that apply to her. If it's not a woman, if it's a man, then there's certain laws that apply to him, and so on. So everything that applies to that person, they must do if they want to be Jewish. Now, to say that you can just take one law and keep that without keeping the rest is in essence saying that the Torah is incomplete. It's imperfect. That you can just choose different parts of it and selectively choose whichever one you want, like custom made. Which in essence means that you are deciding what's good and what's bad, and you're not listening to the source who decided what's good and what's bad. Hashem gave all of those laws. He didn't say, listen, you can keep some of them, and you don't have to keep some of the other ones. Everything that applies to you, you have to keep. That's why every time he mentions to observe the mitzvot in the Torah, in the book of Exodus, in the book of Leviticus, in the book of Numbers, in the book of Deuteronomy, pretty much all of the books that talk about mitzvot, every single time he says, observe my commandments, every time he says, observe all my commandments.
All my commandments.
He doesn't say, just observe some. He doesn't say, observe just Shabbat, Tarat Mishpacha, and Tefillin, you're fine. You're good, it's on me, don't worry. It's too tough for you, don't worry about it. He doesn't say that. He says all or nothing, which means if you want to observe the commandments, you have to know that you have to observe all of them. Now, of course, to some people, obviously, it's very, very difficult to observe all the commandments, but that doesn't mean you don't have to. You're still obligated to do it. The fact that you're not doing it doesn't mean it's okay that you're not doing it. It just means that you're not doing it, and you'll get punished for not doing it. If you're obligated to do it, you're not doing it, you'll get punished for it. So, it doesn't necessarily mean, so, just like I told my first student in Florida, I told him, listen, first year we had, I wish I would have recorded it. First year we had, I told him, listen, I'm going to tell you the truth, and you do whatever you want. Meaning, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to tell you what I think you're able to hear or not able to hear. I don't know what you're able to do or what you're not able to. I'm going to tell you what God said. And you do whatever you want. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say you're good or you're bad or anything. I'm going to tell you what you have to do. And I told him. And I knew he doesn't keep Shabbat. So right off the first shot, I already told him, listen, you're not allowed to drive on Shabbat, and so on. And to him it was a surprise. He's been driving to shul for 25 years. No one ever told him anything. And I told him, listen, you're never allowed to drive on Shabbat. If you want to drive, drive. It's your problem. But you're not allowed to.
You are in the process of conversion, it doesn't matter.
If you're in the early stages of conversion, then yes, you're still early. But if you're in the later stages of conversion, meaning you're planning on converting within a few months, then yeah, you have to start keeping Shabbat 99%. Everything except one small violation. The one last violation that you do, which is intentional, like turning on a light, not driving. A small violation that you do internally. Then, usually like a month before you convert, then you keep 100%, not 99%. But the point is that I told him, listen, I'm going to tell you what it is and do what you want. So if I know you drive on Shabbat, I'm telling you you're not allowed to. Continue driving, that's up to you. Either way, now you know the truth. Now you know the truth. So the same thing with anyone else that's out there, they have to understand. If they want to keep all of the laws in the Torah, they have to convert to Judaism. They can't just pick and choose a mitzvah they want to listen to or not. Why? Whether it's Shabbat or it's anything else. Why? Because that would mean that you're creating your own religion. You're just taking a few mitzvot that are in the Torah and saying, okay, I like these, I don't like the rest.
Right.
You can't do that. That's not what God said. So that's what Rambam is saying. It's not that Hashem says that, hey, listen, the Goyim are bad people. No, there's plenty of Goyim that are great people. Some of them are even prophets. Job was not a Jew, but he was a prophet. So some of the greatest people that ever lived were Goyim. It's not a problem. The point is that Hashem is telling us here is that, listen, you have an option. You're either going to be a Jew, anyone can be a Jew. Practically everyone in our generation could be a Jew. You want to be a Jew? You want to keep Shabbat? You want to keep kosher? You want to keep all these mitzvot? Chazak u'baruch, convert, no problem. You want to just keep Shabbat? Not allowed to. You're allowed to rest on Shabbat, even if you're not Jewish. You're allowed to not work on Shabbat, even if you're not Jewish. You're allowed to celebrate on Shabbat, even if you're not Jewish. You're allowed to have a nice meal on Shabbat, even if you're not Jewish. What you're not allowed to do as a non-Jew is you're not allowed to refrain from doing things specifically because it says it in the Torah. Meaning it says in the Torah, do not light fire. So you're not allowed to not light fire because it says it in the Torah, because you're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to refrain from the 39 restrictions that it says in the Torah that you're not allowed to do if you're not Jewish. Why? Because that would mean that you're keeping a law that's not for you. If you want to keep it, then keep everything. If you don't want to keep everything, don't keep that either. You can celebrate on Shabbat, you can enjoy your Shabbat, there's no questions about it. You can make it a day of rest, you could celebrate, make it a great day, but you can't keep Shabbat. Unfortunately, what happens, this actually brings me to another point. There are some of the, this generation, I heard it at least from two people that are telling people that non-Jews are allowed to keep Shabbat. Noahides are allowed to keep Shabbat. And they're calling it Gerei Tzedek, they're calling it all different types of names. And in essence, they're calling it all types of things, and they're confusing the public. And this actually goes back to our teaching of this parasha, is that if we truly understood and respected who these sages are, we'd never dare say something that they didn't say. We'd never dare. If it doesn't say in the Mishnah, if it doesn't say in the Shulchan Aruch, if it doesn't say in the Gemara, if it doesn't say literally somewhere in the Torah by one of these great minds that a certain halacha is that a non-Jew is allowed to keep Shabbat, who are you to say otherwise? So that's also a level of arrogance that some people have, where it's not intentional, like they're trying to do chesed, they're trying to do kindness for people, but in reality they're not doing kindness because they want people to not feel like they're left out. But if they really wanted them to feel not left out, just tell them just convert to Judaism. If you want to keep Shabbat, convert to Judaism. Right. What's the problem?
That's why.
So that's the thing. So listen, as far as keeping Shabbat in regards to enjoying the dinners, the lunches, the prayers, the family, you can do that anyway. Right. You don't have to be Jewish to do that. You can do it every day if you want.
Right.
But as far as refraining from the 39 restrictions, that is specifically for Jews. So if you want to be Jewish, be Jewish. Right. So that's the thing. I know for some people, I have one student, an amazing human being. She is mamash, like a special soul. If she could convert, she'd convert today, not tomorrow, today already. In the middle of Shul, she'd convert. And she knows probably more than most people, most rabbis even. She knows a lot of Torah. And she wants to convert. But her husband is not ready yet. He's concerned, he believes in the Torah, Baruch Hashem, but he's concerned that he's not going to be able to fulfill the entire Torah. He's not going to be able to fulfill all the mitzvot because he doesn't know enough, which is an incorrect feeling. Why? Because you're not rewarded in Judaism for fulfilling the entire Torah. You're not rewarded in Judaism for learning the entire Torah. You're not rewarded in Judaism for knowing the entire Torah. What are you rewarded for? You're rewarded for trying. And this is actually going to be one of the Mishnayot in Porqué el Judío. It's in Porqué el Judío. We're going to learn it. The key is to try your best. The key is to do everything you can to be modest. Do everything you can to be righteous. Do everything you can to have kavanah in your prayer. Do everything you can to learn as much as you can. Okay, I know it's 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm really tired. Let me push an extra 5 minutes. 5 minutes I have. Maybe I don't have another hour to study. Maybe I don't have that much power and that much strength to study for another hour, but 5 minutes I have. And you study the next 5 minutes. That extra 5 minutes, according to the Gemara, could be more valuable than a year worth of Torah. So, you get rewarded for that 5 minutes. That's what Hashem is looking for. He's looking for mesirut nefesh. He's looking for self-sacrifice. He's not looking for you to be an alacha computer. He's not looking for you to be just a robot. He's looking for you to try your best. Try your best. He paves the way for the rest. Hashem elachem lachem ve'atem techareshun. In Exodus 14:14, Moses tells Am Yisrael, God will fight your wars and you shall remain silent. Meaning that once you've already exerted all of your own effort, you've tried your best. I tried my best to make parnasah. I tried my best to find a zivug. I've tried my best to, work on my tefillah. I tried my best to understand this Gemara. I tried my best in whatever it is that you're doing to serve Hashem. I tried my best, Hashem. Now it's your turn. That's the bottom. That's Judaism. That's connection to Hashem. So if he's watching this lecture right now, the best thing I can tell him is the best thing I've told him before, I believe, is that you don't have to worry about fulfilling the entire Torah. The only thing you have to worry about is fulfilling your job, meaning doing your best, which you're obligated to do anyway.
Right.
Even if you're not Jewish, you're obligated to do your best. As a non-Jew, you're obligated to try your best to be a righteous Noahide. Which means that if you're already exerting your best, this Mishnah says, go for the best. Go for Avraham Avinu. It says in this Mishnah.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it. So you see that all of this insight that we've learned for the last couple of hours, this is from 2 verses in the Torah.
Yeah.
2 verses. One little ma'amar from Antigo knows that's all of it. We could talk about it for another week.
Yeah.
So imagine this whole book is full of it. And this is one of thousands and thousands of books that we have in the Torah, tens of thousands of books. So when somebody in this generation, this lowly generation says, no, I don't think that the Rambam is right. Oh, I don't think that Antigonos is right. I don't think that Rabbi Akiva is right. So who are you? You're not even an ant next to these people. An ant is actually closer to them than you are. Because an ant at least knows she's not like them. You understand? So that's the thing. The most important part that someone needs to truly understand when they're learning Torah is know your place.
Right.
Know where you are. Know where you stand. These are extraordinary people. And as we learned from the story today, apparently they're not finished with their job in this world. They're deciding who lives and dies sometimes still.
I've heard enough. New arrival screams echoing through the hallway to know that this ain't good. Once they pass them through the infierno, they don't come back. It's enough to make you go crazy.
Do not think we fear you, Spirit. We know your power is born of evil. This is your last night in the land of the living. You understand me, malevolent demon?
There are no shortcuts, no tricks, no magic. The very cave you fear possesses the cure you seek. Go within. Just know, once you cross that threshold, there is only one way out.
There was a rich family that lived here called the Hetheringtons, and unfortunately, their daughter passed away of a heart attack inside the house. Basically, they were so devastated that they reached out to people claiming to be psychic mediums. They actually weren't psychic mediums. They opened up a total of 11 portals inside this house and invited spirits and entities from all different kinds of dimensions.
Well, I think there are certain pieces of evidence that there is an afterlife.
Resurrection of the dead is affirmed pretty clearly in the Talmud and the Midrash.
To be honest with you, to give this lecture is a nightmare. If it was up to me, I wouldn't do it. There's gonna be some graphic details.
This place is a maze.
The person after death went to a place called Sheol.
This is by far the largest near-death experience study that has ever been conducted.
People go to a place and they experience weird things. And sometimes they actually will see a character of some type. Well, where did that come from?
I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there.
They may describe feeling profoundly peaceful, seeing a bright, warm, welcoming light. Some people describe watching doctors and nurses working on them with incredible accuracy.
Next thing I knew, I was above my body watching the operation.
How long did you feel like you were gone? I went to a place of timelessness. And so what that means, it could have been a second, could have been 5 minutes. I don't know.
Can you imagine waking up from your sleep and not being able to move?
As I'm lying there, I realized that there's an evil presence next to me.
Do you believe that angels, demons exist?
Holy shit, dude, get out of here! Oh my god, dude!
Strange things keep happening. Bizarre nightmares, as if I'm on fire in the woods.
Whoa, what the hell is this? Man, I've got bad chest pain.
Satan's Hollow is what it's called, the portal to hell.
Some people calling it an eye of fire, while others said it looked like the portal to hell opening up.
And the next thing I know, I was outside of my body, looking at my body.
What I'm going to do is called claromancy, the art of throwing lots or throwing bones.
2,000 years of experience, passed down, recorded, of how demons work.
God has them all on a leash, and he lets the leash go enough to let them tempt us, because that's what makes us spiritually stronger.
I'm trying to be as graphic as possible so you understand what we're talking about.
It's your ticket to reality. It's your ticket to freedom. It's your ticket to immortality.
Is there an afterlife? Is there a
It's
God?
the type of information that can keep you away from the Yetzirah.
What happens to us after we die?